And now you said you are working on, independently on brand marketing, and then typically, like a role that startups hire. Tell us a little bit more about like, what does it mean to be like a freelance or advisor for brand marketing? What's the scope and what's your day-to-day look like?
Yeah. Well, so clients come to me with question, not they don't come to me with like exact questions, and they don't come to me with they know exactly what they want much of the time, which is typical, right? Like this is kind of what you expect even in a full-time role. They're like, we need help, but we don't know what exactly we need and we don't know how to fix it. So they'll explain the problem, and then I'll try to package it up into a brand project. There's some are easier than others. There's the founders that are like, we don't have a website or anything, but we need to sell a product. That's a fairly easy problem to start solving because you know what the problem is shaped like. But one example is I had a client who this like the most specialty niche product for him was that his company, he's the CEO, makes custom magnetics as a service. What even are magnetics? Like I found myself having to look this up in advance. Magnetics are component parts of every like power bank or power part. So like you plug a USB into the wall or you plug any machine into the wall, if it turns on and off, there's magnetics inside there. Most magnetics are off the shelf. They come from factories in China and that problem is taken care of. But you need custom magnetics when you have a special machine that requires something specific, like a different size or like a huge amount of power or something, because these machines are going to space. They're satellites or they're rockets or they're robots or they're medical devices, or they're just something like new and cool and interesting. So this startup makes custom magnetic components, produces them, and also has the ability for engineers to design those custom parts on their online interface, right? They're based in Madrid. They have a good presence in Europe, but where in the world do so many cool, interesting custom machines get built and invented? Here in Silicon Valley, right? Like NASA's here, SpaceX is here, like they're all here, right? And so he was moving the company and establishing a presence, and he moved his family to San Francisco. So he comes to me, he's like, I need marketing help because we don't have a presence here. We've never been here before, but we want to interface with all of these like leading technology companies that are building the coolest hardware on the planet, literally. How do we do it? So it's like this is a brand marketing question to some extent. It's like, how do we establish ourselves as a known entity in Silicon Valley to these people who should know that they can produce custom magnetics with this one company? And the answer from my perspective was, they need to know you're here. They want to physically meet you. Let's do a meetup series for power electronics engineers. There's meetups for hardware engineers. There's meetups for software engineers. And there's like 25 AI meetups a day. But there's not a single one for power electronics engineers, which is a super niche industry. Much of them have higher advanced degrees. Many of them have PhDs. So it's a small community. When they leave one company, they go to another one, all in the same bubble. So if you start to make connections within the community, those can last for a really long time, no matter how many times these people switch jobs. And so that's what we did, is we established a brand for a power electronics community meetup, and then we started doing them. The first one had 35 people come through, which is non-trivial for an event in Sunnyvale after work. And then the second one had 38, and then the third one, and so on and so forth. So that's the hope, is that like to establish a community, you have to start with thinking about the brand building exercises you're going to do it. So it's like, that's not a website redesign at all, but it is a brand marketing contract project that you can scope out into one set of deliverables. Are you on mute? Oh no. Okay, you're back.
It actually reminds me of Notion in early days, right? Like they weren't really working on any like growth marketing activities. Notion in early days was primarily doing brand activities and like doing meetups and actually working with the Fnatic fans around the world to do meetups and doing a lot of the influencer work and really establish that brand. So that reminds me of that.